So today we will read our second chapter from the geography side, that is land and soil resources. Before that already we have completed our first chapter from the geography side, that is natural resources. So one important thing is that in your 8th class in the geography section we will discuss one by one, we will discuss about all type of resources. It means in the first chapter we have discussed about natural resources. In the second chapter we are discussing about land and soil resources. After that we will discuss about water resources, then mineral and power resources, and so on. Okay. So now we'll just talk about the land and soil resources. So first we'll talk about the land resources. Okay, land resources, it means land use. Okay. If we talk about the land, so you people already know about the land and in which way we are using the land. Obviously, we are using the land for residence purpose. We are using the land for the agriculture purpose. Okay, and it means way we can say that the land use. We can say that in our country total 30% area, 30% land. It means in this 30% and most of the 90%, it means almost 90% population is dependent on the main 30% land only. Okay, because in this way the agriculture fields are there, we are just residential, and the remaining 70% land, it is we can say that it is partially populated. Why? Because in this type of land the tough terrain is there and the life is not possible. So in this way we can say that the almost 90% population is dependent on the 30% land only, and the remaining 70% land, that is we can say that is partially populated. Okay, so if we talk about the land use, so we can say that land is affected by the two factors. First, that is the physical factor, and second, that is human factor. Okay, so if we talk about the physical factor, so you can see that it means all over the land available. So everywhere it is not same. Somewhere high mountains are there, somewhere the plains are there, somewhere the river plains are there, and somewhere the hills are there, plateaus are there. So in this way we can say that physical factor is also affecting the formation of the land. It means with the climatic condition and in the rainfall, some temperature up and down of the temperature. So in this way we can say that the physical factor is also affecting the land use pattern. And if we talk about the human factor, okay, so human factor is also affecting to the land use pattern. It means somewhere the humans have prepared the high buildings, they are preparing the factories, somewhere they are just doing the mining purpose. So we can say that the land use factor, it is just affected by the physical factor and the human factor. Okay, so this is the land, it means how we are using the land and in which way we are using the land, that is the land use pattern. And this land, that is the two types of land is there, that is the public land is there and the private land is there. So in the public land, it means most of the people, all people, they can easily use, it means the road, so easily they can utilize it. And the private land is there, it means their owner is there, any private person, so that is the private land is there. Grazing ground, that is forest grazing grounds, that is the example of public land. And the private property, it is any person, that is the example of the, we can say that private land. So here our this particular topic, that is land use pattern, is completed. Now we will talk about the soil resources. If we talk about the soil resources, you can say that soil is very much important natural resources for us. Without the soil, it is not possible to the agriculture. Okay, definitely some other things is also required for growing the plant and trees and for the agriculture. That rainfall is also required, some other things. But main thing, that is the soil. Soil is very important, and to prepare the few centimeter of soil, it is take a long time to the formation of the soil. So here we'll discuss about some more factor of the formation of the soil. Okay, one by one we'll discuss about the, so these factors are, first that is parent rock, second climatic condition, third that is slope of land, fourth plant and animal organisms, and the next that is time. Okay, so you can see parent rock. Parent rock, it means this is the primary thing. It means in which the soil is prepared. Okay, so this parent rock, it is just creating a very much important role to the formation of the soil. The climatic condition, it means rainfall, and the some up and down in the temperature, it is also affected the soil formation. Slope of land, it means somewhere the high mountains is there, so in this slope that is also affected the formation of the soil. Plant and animal organisms, it means this plant and animal organism, this provide the, we can say that humus and the organisms to the plant, to the soil. And next that is the time, that already I have explained to you that the formation of the soil, it is take a long time to the formation of the soil. It means formation of the soil, it will take a very much long time. So this main factor you can just very much proper manner just note it down and just learn the points, all the 5 points, that is the these points are the formation of the soil. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the formation of the soil. Okay, so formation of the soil, it means the vertical layer from top to bottom. Okay, the vertical layer, it means in the formation of the soil, that from top to bottom, it is some different types of layers are there. So one by one we'll discuss about the different type of layer. Okay, it is in, we'll just discuss these layers in a vertical sections. Okay, so this vertical section is known as the soil profile. So we can say that the layer or horizon of soil from top to bottom are as follows. That is first A horizon, second B horizon, third C horizon. We can say that is the different type of layers, and last that is the D horizon. It means horizon A, horizon B, horizon C and horizon D. In this picture, you can see about the different types of horizon C is there. First we discuss about the horizon A, you can see in the picture. So this horizon, it means horizon A is made up of the top layer of soil, and it is also called the top soil. You can see in the picture, it is just green in color and it is usually the darkest layer, and it is the highest concentration of organic matter called humus, and it is also a region of intense biologically activity, and it means we can say that insects, worms and animals are there, and the roots of plants growing in this horizon. And second layer is there, it means just down of this horizon A, you can see in the picture, horizon B is there. In this horizon B, you can see this horizon consists of the subsoil, and it is made up of the soluble mineral, and although this layer has less amount of humus compared to the horizon A, and it holds more amount of water as compared of topsoil. And you can see in the picture horizon C is there. So horizon C, this layer comprises deposits of the earth surface from which soil is developed. It is a small piece of rock not affected by the weathering, and if you see in the picture that horizon D, so this layer has the unbroken solid rock sheet and are located several feet below the ground surface, and it is also called the bedrock. This layer is mostly made of granite, basalt, quartzite, limestone and sandstones. Okay, so I think here you have just to clear about the soil profile. Okay, now we'll discuss about the soil resources in India, and in this way we will discuss about the different type of soil. Okay. So in India there are mainly 6 type of soils are there. First, that is alluvial soil. Second, black soil. Third, red soil. Fourth, laterite soil. Fifth, mountain soil. And next, that is desert soil. So in our country India there are different types of soil are there, but main these 6 type of soils are there. First, that is the alluvial soil. If we talk about the alluvial soil, so this alluvial soil, it is, we can say that most fertile soil is there, and this oil is just formed when the it means this type of soil is formed of the with the help of the rivers. Okay, when the rivers bring so many type of soil, and it is just laid down on the surface. So in this way, it means this is type of soil is prepared by the river plain. So we can say that this type of soil is very much fertile soil, and mainly in the area of Punjab, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, this type of some part of this type of soil is found. And if we talk about the second type of soil, that is the black soil. So black soil, it means definitely it is black in color, and it is also called the cotton soil also. Okay, black cotton soil, because this soil, it means this black soil, it is also very much fertile soil, and it is very much suitable for the cotton crop. In the next chapter, it means after in the 7th chapter, we will discuss about some type of crops. So in this way, you will see about this black soil is very much suitable for the cotton crops, and this black soil have the capacity to just it means we can say that this black soil has so much capacity to hold the water, and it is just very much black in color and very fertile soil. If we talk about the third soil, that is the red soil. So red soil, it means by name it is clear, it is red in color. Why this soil is red in color? Because in this type of soil, so many we can say that iron is there, the iron is there. So that's why this is red in color, but this type of soil not very much fertile. And if I talk about the next soil, that is the laterite soil. So in this type of soil, some amount of iron is there, and also some amount of aluminium is there. And this type of soil, it is also not very much fertile soil. And next, that is the mountain soil. It means this type of soil is found in a mountain area, and in this way less amount of humus are there. And next soil, that is the desert soil. So in this desert soil, it is less fertile soil compared to the all soil. This desert soil is very much less fertile soil, and only some sparse vegetation, we can say that cactus and this type of plants are growing this type of soil. So here this 6 main type of soil is there: alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, laterite soil, mountain soil and desert soil. In your book, one map is there, and in this map you can see the distribution of this type of soil in the different part of our country, India. Okay, so now we'll just this type of soil is I think it is clear to you. Now we'll just discuss about the conservation of soil. You know that the conservation of any natural resources, it is very important for us, because it is used by us, and in the same way we should conserve our resources for the future generation too. So in the same manner, as we have just discussed about the natural resources, why the conservation of natural resources is required. In the same manner, we can say that the conservation of soil resources it is also required. So how can we conserve our soil resources? Okay. So there are also some, we can say that some steps are there. So in this way we can conserve our soil resources. So one by one we will discuss this. We can just discuss our conservation, or we can just discuss some methods are there to conserve our soil resources. First, that is the counterplanting. Second, that is terrace farming. Third, that is crop rotation. Fourth, strip cropping. Next, mulching. Afforestation. And next, that is the shelter belts. So we will just discuss about some different types of methods. That is the counterplanting, terrace farming. So counterplanting, it means in the different types of using method of planting. We can just conserve our soil resources. Terrace farming, it means in this way in the mountain area some different types of areas when terrace is creating, and in this way also we can just save, or we can just conserve our soil resources. So in this way the soil will not easily flow. And crop rotation, it means because if we just grow the same type of crop in a field, so what will happen? In this way we can say that whatever the nutrition is required that particular crop, it will just lost. So crop rotation, it means in a single year we will just grow different type of crop, and in the next year we can just grow the different type of crops. So it means with the help of crop rotation also we can conserve our soil resources. Strip cropping, with the help of strip cropping, it means the different type of crops we can grow, and in this way we can conserve our soil resources. That mulching, it means between some plant and trees we can just grow some different type of grasses, and with the help of this also we can conserve our soil resources. Afforestation, it means if we are growing a number of trees. Afforestation, it means it will grow the number of trees, so the trees, the roots of the trees, they can just hold the soil and it will not easily flow by the wind or by the water. So in this way also we can conserve our soil resources. Shelter beds, it means farmers also creating some different type of beds. It means we can say that barrier they can create. Okay, it means by the rocks, by the very much biggest type of rocks, or by the different types of row, they can just prepare a row with the help of the trees. So in this way they can also create the shelter beds. So in this type of different method we can conserve our soil resources. It is very much important to conserve the soil resources, because if the soil resource is not in a proper manner, so how the agriculture will possible? And without the agriculture, how we will just, it means how the demand of the food of these people will fulfill. So we can say that in this way the land and soil resources, the method of the soil resources is completed, and here our this particular chapter is completed. So once please just read this chapter carefully. In the description box you can see the link of the chapter. So with the help of this link you can read the chapter, and after reading the chapter please prepare this complete chapter, and again we'll meet with the next chapter. Thank you.